While Emperor Palpatine had multiple Sith apprentices over the course of the Star Wars saga, not all of them were seen as equal by the Dark Lord of the Sith. Indeed, Darth Vader, Darth Maul, and Count Dooku each meant different things to the powerful villain. While it is clear that Palpatine was not the most magnanimous soul, he did value his apprentices for what they could help him accomplish. While the rule of two all but guaranteed one would eventually need to kill the other, Palpatine had complex relationships with the Sith he trained. Palpatine himself seemed to have a positive relationship with his mentor Darth Plagueis, and while he tortured Darth Vader to bring out his strength, he also gifted him Mustafar as a show of respect, having first offered his own home planet of Naboo to his apprentice. However, as revealed in Kieran Gillen and Salvador Larroca's Darth Vader No. 20, Palpatine didn't feel the same way about all his apprentices. Perhaps the most surprising of Palpatine's opinions regards Count Dooku, aka Darth Tyrannus. A formerly noble Jedi who was a true believer in his vision of a galaxy outside Jedi control, Dooku was less beholden to Palpatine than his other apprentices. In the novelization of Revenge of the Sith, Dooku realizes he was always just a placeholder intended to be supplanted by Anakin, and Palpatine later confirms this to Vader, explaining Dooku was a proton torpedo. He served his purpose and was gone. I had a superior candidate in mind. Palpatine's consideration of Dooku means he's an even more tragic figure than originally depicted. Indeed, he was the Sith's beast of burden who was always going to end up dead or sidelined, no matter how hard he tried. How Palpatine saw Darth Maul. Maul was Palpatine's apprentice during his silent rise to power, existing as his strong right hand and resenting the Jedi for never seeking him out as a child and sparing him Palpatine's training as a Sith. Now out-of-canon stories show Maul to be Vader's superior in combat skill, with the latter triumphing in battle only due to his masochistic edge. Indeed, Palpatine seems to have seen Maul as an ideal apprentice, admitting he was a loss compared to Dooku in Darth Vader No. 20. This is likely because Darth Maul had been indoctrinated from childhood to loathe the Jedi, making him an unfailing weapon in Palpatine's war against the Order. Even his rare disobedience was just to allow him to kill more Jedi. Palpatine abandoned Maul after his injury fighting Obi-Wan Kenobi, but it seems that up until that point, he saw Maul in a surprisingly favorable light. How Palpatine saw Darth Vader. Of the three, Darth Vader was Palpatine's favorite son. Indeed, once Anakin arrived on the scene, both Maul and Dooku became irrelevant to Palpatine's ultimate long-range goals. He even tells Vader as much when he says, "For the Empire to live, Darth Vader had to live." Palpatine went to a huge amount of effort to keep Vader both strong and obedient, but he was also on the lookout to replace him, even commissioning Silo to create prototype assassins who didn't depend on the Force. Vader was no fool, noting that while Palpatine has approving words for his performance, if any of Silo's toys had succeeded, you would be making this speech to them. Palpatine undoubtedly held Vader in high regard, but even the Emperor's highest regard still allowed for a great deal of cruelty and for anyone to be considered dispensable. It's not surprising that Palpatine was such a nasty, hateful soul. It's part of being the senior Sith Lord. However, the feelings he expresses about Maul, Dooku, and Vader put into perspective the depth of his disdain, and how he judged their value, as tools to use, not allies or friends. Darth Vader had the best understanding of Palpatine's mindset towards his Sith apprentices and ultimately chose his love for his son over his fealty to his master, changing the course of Star Wars galaxy forever.